Today I am going to talk about a tool called the law of inertia. The law of inertia says people tend to endure the pain of the present rather than risk enacting change. People tend to endure the pain of the present rather than risk enacting change. Let me explain this. I'll start with a little anecdote, something that's dear to me. See, I'm a speaker, so I travel for a living. I'm on the road most days of the week. I'm in a different hotel room every night. And this happens to me a lot. I don't know if this happens to you guys when you travel, but it happens to me a lot. I mean, I would be lying there in my hotel room, 2 in the morning. It's dark. I'm awake. I woke up because the room is hot. The room is hot. I can't sleep. I'm lying there. Now, I could get up. Yeah, I could get up. I could get up and find the thermostat. I don't know where the thermostat is in this room. I would have to turn the lights on, though. That would be bad. And of course, I need my glasses to read the thermostat. I could get my glasses, put on my glasses, turn the lights on, go to the thermostat, change whatever. Would it actually make any difference? I don't know. I'm not sure. So I just lie there. I lie there, hoping that somehow the room will get cooler. Of course, it doesn't. Half an hour goes by. And then when it finally gets miserable, so miserable that I can't stand it anymore, I get up and make the change. You see, people tend to endure the pain of the present. I know the pain I was going through. You endure that until it gets so miserable that you're willing to make the change. Let me tell you why this works. It's actually, people, human beings, we are very rational creatures. Our mind is an acute compute processor. Our mind has already thought through this, and it has done a mathematical calculation in our heads. Let me explain this to you. You see, our mind has said to itself, this is the state I am in. This is the current state, the world that I live in today. I know the state. I'm living it. I know everything about the state. I know the pros of the state, and I know the cons in the state. All the good, all the bad. I'm living it. I know everything about it. Now, this is the state that I could go to if I were to make the change. If I were to make the change, I will move to this changed state. This is the state I will be in if I were to make the change. Now, this state, I can envisage what that state might be. I can kind of think about it. I kind of know what it's like, but I'm not sure. I'm not absolutely certain. It's got some pros. Yes, some pros that are likely. They're possible. And it's got cons. The cons that will happen in this state. Now, you see, as a human being, I assume the cons will occur. The cons, I say, are certain. Those bad things will happen. The pros, they might happen. They might happen. And so I give the cons 100% valuation, but I discount the pros at, say, 50%. Now, this state here, I know this state completely. So I know this state. This is all true. I'm observing it today. I'm living this world. I know all of that. So our mind is now comparing the changed state versus the current state. Here we have taken both the pros and cons at face value. Here we have taken the cons at face value, but the pros are discounted. How is this state going to have any fighting chance compared against that? It's not. So we don't change. We don't change until the cons here become so large that the pros, even at a discounted value, beat the cons here. And then we make the change. As 2 hours later, I get up, I change the thermostat. So people tend to endure the pain of the present rather than risk enacting change. So what can we do about this? Well, actually, if you understand, first of all, the law, and second, the rationale behind the law, what our mind is thinking, then we can actually stop our emotional mind from taking over and allow our cognitive, rational mind to take over. So, in a real life situation where you have change that is being contemplated, write down on paper, write down the pros and cons of the current state. So, you know what are the things that you like about the current state, what are the things that you do not like about the current state, and write down the pros and the cons of the changed state, so that you understand what are the pros, cons of the new state that you are not absolutely sure about. And then assign likelihoods in the new state. Likelihoods, the best way, with your best estimate, likelihoods of possibility both for the pros and for the cons. That way, your emotion is not in fear, assuming all the cons are a definite certainty and is discounting the pros, but rather is discounting all of the pros and cons, in which case now the changed state has a more fighting chance over the current state. You are more likely to make the change sooner. This idea of writing it down causes you to become intellectually honest and go from the emotion driving you, rather the analysis driving you. Remember, law of inertia. People tend to endure the pain of the present rather than risk enacting change.